Hello, it's Andy again from the Egocast channel. I think I've been skipping that intro for a couple of videos now. I think I've been lazy, I don't know. Anyways, there you go. So, I've been getting a lot of comments in the comment section about videos I've been doing lately because they've been lightly brushing against capitalism, but not actually getting into capitalism. And I've been getting a lot of questions from people and a lot of arguments from people. So I want to take this opportunity to talk about capitalism. Now, I don't come from any sort of like collegiate background on the subject, but I've you know, done some studying. I've watched YouTube videos. I come from the Milton Friedman economic slant. You know what I mean? Like I watched a lot of Milton Friedman, and I think Milton Friedman was genius. He's where I get most of my economic sense from. If you have the inclination, check out some Milton Friedman. Most of what I'm probably going to say here will be Milton Friedman. But, you know, I can at least be talked to. Because I think Milton Friedman's dead. Not entirely sure. If he is, hey, what's going on, man? Or no, if he isn't. Shit, if he is... Sorry. Alright, anyways. So, capitalism. What is capitalism? Capitalism is, essentially, it is the meritocracy. It is the idea that if you have a good idea that is something that people will want, that somewhere out there, there's people that will pay for it. And if you can make enough of them, then people will buy them. And then you can make more and sell to more people, and then make more and sell to more people. It's a thing where you're in charge of your own destiny. You can choose how big you want your company to get, but, you know, if your idea is really fucking good, man, sometimes you don't get a choice on the subject. So, you know, but you can also sell your ideas to people who have the wherewithal to do it. You know, like that kind of thing. Pretty much the idea of capitalism is everything is for trade one way or another. It's different from a barter system in the sense that we use money as opposed to just trading goods and services. But it's still pretty much the same thing. An example that I used in the comments today is... And this isn't an advertisement. I'm not begging for money. It's just it's simple because it's been in my head lately. But Patreon is pretty much pure capitalism, and it's pure capitalism on a lower scale. So everybody can kind of get behind it because everybody sees the beneficial effects of it, you know, right in front of their face. So that makes it different from like corporate capitalism. So they're the same thing, but different in the way we perceive them. With Patreon, I provide a service. I give you information, such as it is, and I, you know, try to make jokes, make you laugh, try to be insightful. Like I try to, you know, entertain you in some manner. I put out daily material as best as I can. Sometimes, you know, a couple of videos a day. You know, some days I take off. But I try to average a video a day. You know what I mean? So I provide a service which is not unlike, you know, a daily TV show. If you're watching it, you know, your daily soap operas or whatever, kind of the same thing. So, but you don't pay for my service. I provide my service for free. You can choose to pay for my service. And if you do, the benefit to you is I can continue to provide the service, which I'll do regardless, you know, whatever. Anyways, so, you know exactly where your money's going. But when you pay for, say, cable, right, you're paying $100, $150, whatever it is your cable bill is, right? But you get 2,000 some channels and watch, let's be honest, 10, 15 of them maybe? Maybe 20 channels you watch? So you're paying for a whole lot of shit you don't need and don't want, right? You pay your money in, and it goes into this machine, and it just You have no idea where it fucking goes. But you know that it's not all going where you want it to go because you've got 1,900 plus channels that you don't watch. So you can choose to, limit your channels or whatever, or not even fucking bother with cable and just go with like Netflix or some shit like that and just get, internet access through cable. That's what I do. I just get internet access through cable. I don't pay for fucking cable. I have Netflix, But you can then choose to, if you have a favorite YouTube channel, if you find that there's a YouTube channel that you're watching daily, you can be like, fuck, well, I'll toss them some money. Because that way that money is directly going to the person that you're, donating to through Patreon. Patreon gets their cut for providing the service, for providing the access. And then you see the benefit because, they can say on the video, hey, you might notice that I'm using a better camera. Thank you to my patrons for buying me a better fucking camera. You know what I mean? Like, you see the actual benefit. Well, you don't get that with large corporations. You don't get that instant gratification of being able to see my money has been received. It's been, and it's going to what I want. So when you do things like buy cars, you buy a car because you need a car. And then when you spend that money, it's gone. And then when your car breaks down, you're like, motherfucker, this is a shitty car. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like it pans out. And it's a lot easier for that to happen with large corporations. So, everybody's been fucked over by a large corporation in one way or another, even if it's just you bought a car and a week later the check engine light flew on. I've been there, and you feel like you've been screwed. And so it's easy to take that and be like, well, fuck this shit. They're not doing anything good for us. And, companies that are ruining the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. And like the realistic polluting the waters, that whole thing, that was bad. And that was where companies were trying to cut corners to save money. Now, here's where capitalism can go wrong. Capitalism can go wrong when greed steps in, and capitalism is an easy system to get greedy with. So, there has to be a money incentive for pretty much anything. So, there's where your government begins to step in, because it has to. It has to regulate these sorts of things. You can't dump your pollutants into the fucking stream because that kills people. Like, you can't do it. Well, it's cheap for us to do that, so we're going to do it. Well, if you do it, we're going to fine you, and it's not going to be as cheap anymore. Okay, well, I guess we'll do it the slightly more expensive way so that we don't have to pay an even slightly more expensive fine. That's where, like, the government should be interceding. But in situations like cap and trade and all that nonsense and fucking all these regulations that Obama threw in for this, that, and the other thing, like, it was overkill. And companies began to lose money because they needed to implement all these new procedures and whatnot. So to make up for that money, the easiest way to do it is to fire people. Like, it's shitty, but that's business. Because paying fines isn't easier. And not doing the shit that the government wants you to do, that's not easier. But you can fire people. And what happens when you fire people? Well, a lot of people are out of work then and can't pay for shit. Which means, you're not making as much of anything. So demand is going to go up. Which means prices can go up. Right? So everybody suffers. But if you begin to give those companies money back and ease regulations so that they don't have to do that kind of shit, they will want to begin to make more products because that's their purpose. So they will want to hire more people, which will drive demand down because people will be getting the shit that they need again, which means that prices can come back down. That's kind of how shit works. But we keep pushing against corporations and big business because fuck them, they have all the money and they're assholes. And clearly, It's because life is a zero-sum game. Clearly, there's no possible way that it didn't come at the suffering of others. There's no way that the company started from nothing and built itself up into a giant. It had to have just taken all the money from all the little people and then became a giant. No. That's definitely how it happened. No, that's not how that shit happens. That can be how that shit can happen nowadays, because again, greed. We've gotten to the point where the money numbers we're working with are ridiculous. There are people that are worth billions of dollars. That's retarded. Like, that's more than gross national product of some countries. That's ridiculous. But we've gotten there because we've pushed inflation up, because we're always fighting against big business. We want to take all the money away from them so that they will have no more money, so that they will have to find a way to make money, which will mean firing people, which means all the little people suffer, and now everything's really expensive. So, capitalism can work if we all participate. We all have to participate in the system. We all have to understand that not everybody has got a great idea. Some people are just fucking ditch diggers, and that's just how shit works. I might not ever actually make enough money to really fucking provide for myself doing this, but hey, I'm going to give it a go, because it isn't going to have to get into the way of what I need to do to make money to survive. You know what I mean? It's something I can do on the side that could still provide me money, and that could someday blow up into something huge. You never know. But I'm still going to play my part. I'm still going to go and get a job. I'm not going to expect the government to just take care of me because I'm trying really hard to do YouTube. Like, that would be a point where the system would break down. Everybody has to participate. Everybody has to do their fucking shit. You have to go to work every day and do your fucking job. And the better you do, the more money you'll make, because they'll appreciate you more. And the more you learn and the more positions you can work in, the less they're going to want to fire you because you're becoming indispensable. If you just go to work and fucking sit there all day and don't want to fucking do anything today, the system is broken down because you are not participating. You see how it works? Everybody has to participate. But the thing that's awesome about capitalism compared to other systems like socialism, if a small group of people decide they don't want to participate, it won't fuck the whole system. So all the rich people can decide they don't want to participate, but it doesn't have to fuck the system for everybody else. When the people at the top become shitty, companies at the bottom do what they do better, and then they devour the shitty companies, and then they become the new top company, and then they turn shitty and get ate by the next guy. That's how capitalism works. That's why greed isn't good to come into it, because sooner or later you're going to cut enough corners that people are going to be fucking done with you, and your companies are going to go out of business. Look at Circuit City. They had shitty fucking service there, and you can't find one anymore because they're fucking gone. So, boop. That's how that shit works. Right? And they were huge for a time. Circuit City was the place to go for electronics. Not anymore, because they sucked. And you can't suck at the top, because somebody at the bottom will fucking eat you. That's how capitalism works. It's a pragmatic system. If you suck, you're gonna fail. It works like that. And that's why a lot of people don't like it. Because a lot of people just want to drift through life. And it doesn't work with capitalism. You have to reach for the brass ring. Fucking, alright. So, yeah. But also the cool thing with capitalism is, like, a lot of people can decide they're not going to participate, and that doesn't fuck up the system for everybody else. Because everybody kind of determines their own level. You know, if you work hard and persevere, you're going to fucking achieve. You know, that's how life works. So, I think it's an amazing system. I think we've never really given it an opportunity. We love it at the small level. We love it at the mid level. We hate it at the top level. So, if so many people can get behind Patreon and be like, well, this is a great system. I actually know my money's going where I want it to go. that's how cable eventually is going to get eaten. Because it's turning into shit, and nobody wants to fucking watch it anymore. Everybody's watching other shit now. You see how the system works? Like, that. There you go. If a car company turns shitty, and they pump out shitty cars, a better car company comes along and eats them. Yeah, like, capitalism is like that. And that's why a lot of people don't like it. And that's where it gets hairy at the upper levels, because when bigger companies start eating big companies, when really big companies eat big companies, that's when the greed starts taking over and the fucking system falls apart. Everybody has to participate. Everybody has to follow the rules. Nobody wants to follow the rules, and nobody wants to participate. And that's why capitalism doesn't work. But it still works better than any other system because, like I said, you make your own destiny. You can choose to be as educated as you want to be, and you can choose to work as hard as you want to work to attain the things in life that you want to attain. I've chosen to be relatively stupid, not go to college. But thank God, because but, you know, I'm doing what I can to do what I can. You know, my possibilities are limitless. Because I live in a capitalist society. If everything was government owned and government run, if companies like YouTube were all government run, I would have to toe government lines. And you wouldn't like my content as much, I don't think. So, you know, like, it all works together. It all has to work together. But if there's any point that it doesn't work, the shit breaks down. But it only breaks down for the people involved. And that's why capitalism is so cool, because it doesn't fuck everybody over. Anyways, I think I'm repeating myself now. I don't know. If you have any questions, like, I'm sure I'm missing shit. Yeah, like, there's minimum wage goes into it. That's, you know, can be perceived as more damaging than good. Things of that nature. Like, Milton Friedman, man, listen to that guy talk. He had amazing speeches. Amazing speeches. Really washed my brain clean. Wink. But yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comment sections. If I get enough questions, then maybe I'll do a companion video to this. Something like that. Where I answer questions from people. But I think capitalism can be great. You just gotta put yourself in the system somewhere where it works for you. You know, and do your best. And work hard. It's a meritocracy. Well, everybody hates it because it's a meritocracy. It is a meritocracy. You can't get past it.
Thank you.